And Langford Community Management Services was the one who returned a proposal to us. We've dealt with them many times in the past and I've always been happy. And we would like to use their services for this.
Did anybody else even apply?
No, sir.
Langford's been around a long time, done a good job. Entertain a motion.
I make a motion we approve resolution 23-12 awarding the contract to
Langford Community Management Services.
Second.
To award the grant administration to the Langford Company. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, city manager.
Channel clearing, our cutoff dates came and passed. We're fixing to finalize the specs and go out for bids. The second part of that has been done. They are working to put together basically to build the streets within the specs that GLO has aligned for that. So hopefully all that's fixing to really start moving. The home buyout portion of it, it is in the second review in GLO to get the homes. And I think that there's 7 properties that have applied and are in the review. Main and 20, construction will start in November. I did talk to somebody from TxDOT. They're still having supply chain issues and are going to be, like I said, in November there will be start. Dam repairs, EH&T and HDR are still working through that. The airport paving is complete. The only thing we need to do is close out that project is replant the grass, seed it. The construction company is waiting for cooler temperatures and hopefully a little bit of moisture for the seed to hold. Really, that's about all I have. Commissioner Funderburg resigned. We will be talking in the near future about the next steps we need to take for his seat.
Hate to hear that. On your GLO, the big project.
Yes, sir.
When that all started a couple of years ago, I remember seeing from the engineering firm, I think is who did it, the timeline and dates and where we were and all of that. Do you have an updated copy of that?
No, sir, I do not have an updated copy, but I will get one. I have a conference call with them in the next couple of days, and I will get one.
You do, ask them. Why don't you present that to us next meeting and
Yes,
tell us
sir.
where we are and the timeline and all
Yes, sir.
that? Because I still remember 2024 as a date, but I don't know what that date is. But I know it's an important date, and that's
Yes,
here.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's before we blink, it's going to be here.
Yes, sir.
And there's still a lot to be done and some pretty important pieces of that pie.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, let's get them and see where they think we are too.
Yes, sir.
Probably what to do. That all for you? Any other questions for JJ?
Thank you.
Okay, code compliance.
Commissioners, Terry started out September with 79 cases already open. He opened 31 new ones, closed 25. That leaves us with a total for the end of the month of 85. There were 36 total violations open, and there were 33 total violations closed. Had 2 junk vehicles. Had 4 citations issued. 2 annual notices. Had $2,339 in fines assessed. Had $874 in fines paid. 2 cases were abated by the city. You can see the cost of that there. 1 property was for a person that was deceased. Second property was an absentee owner who we had abated the property, and then shortly thereafter, apparently they're renting it out. So glad we could help them with that. Down at the bottom, you can see that we had citations for dangerous building, no utility account, junk vehicle, on and on repeat. That actually property, the property owner has come in to take care of that. They paid past due amounts for the water bill And next month, when they get their check-in, they're supposed to be reactivating the water account there to bring that into compliance. And then we had 2 others that had citation, 2 other properties that had citations sent, one on North Virginia, who's a frequent flyer, and one on North Connolly that is a frequent flyer. We're still trying to, we're giving citations as much as we can until it gets to a point to where maybe we can do something through another vein. Terry, we have the Encode program that Terry's going to be using for code compliance, keeping track of all those. That will be coming online. I think he's working with Leslie and working with Encode to schedule a date. So whenever they do an update for the city, that's when he will be included in that and have that new system up and going. Right now, I think we're still on Comcade temporarily until we get to that point.
Yeah. They're talking about end of November.
Yeah.
They're
And I think with Encode, I think he's going to have access to some better reporting. Mm-hmm. So the look of this report may change here in a couple months. We'll see how that goes. Any other questions for me?
Yeah, I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Looking at the end of month total, in October we had 29, in September we've got 85. That's a triple.
Yes, sir.
What needs to happen different in our business to resolve that issue?
That is a loaded question, sir. We only have certain tools in our toolbox to take care of the problems that we have. We have a problem with people that do not care that they are violating our ordinances. I think Chief Pitts probably comes across people that are in the same vein. Some of the crimes that he has to deal with people on a regular basis, they just don't care. And I don't think our teeth are sharp enough to where we can really get compliance. I think some of that is due to legal reasons. I think moral reasons are a problem too. We can only go so far with it. I don't really have a good answer for that.
Is there anything we can do as a commission to put better tools in your toolbox, to sharpen the teeth, to do however you want to say it?
Right. If that's something that we would probably, I don't want to give an answer right now because just talking off the top of my head, it's not a smart thing to do. I think if anything, we can take a look at it as a group and find ways that we think it would work, working with, the commission and also. And then after that, running with Eileen and seeing, hey, what can we legally do here? What is not kosher? Because we want the city to look good. We want everybody to take pride in their city, but nowadays, the population does not always have that first and foremost in their mind.
And we won't be known as a friendly city. We don't want to beat people up, but by the same token, we want people to be in compliance and to keep the city looking nice.
Yes, sir.
A place people. If there's something we can do different, let us know. If there's something, and I agree with what you said, some of that's not smart. You want to try to do it the right way, but the frequent flyers, and people think I'm joking about this, but we had a little dog at one time that was a real sweet little dog. Cecil was the chief of police at the time. And the fine back then, it doubled every time. Mm-hmm. And we got up to about $180 and somebody poisoned my dog, but it wasn't me.
Right. And it's one of those things to where if we try to be friendly with, like I've said before, we don't necessarily go after the fine, we go after the compliance. That's what we want. But
if they don't comply, what do you do?
Well, that's something that, we need to talk about how hard we're willing to go after it as a group, because if we go after it hard and then if they come to the mom and dad to be on the same plane, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go out there and do something. They come to commit you. Oh, they shouldn't have done that. It's okay.
Right. Well, and everybody has different issues, and we try to be understanding of that. But then there's also time to be serious, and so we just want to make sure that whatever we do, y'all are comfortable with it, and y'all back it. And I have no problem with Terry and I, and JJ getting together and then bringing y'all in on it too, just so we're cohesive together on this.
And if you think where we are is the right place to be, that's fine too.
Right.
I just noticed that number was, I didn't mean to load the gun there, but
No.
I just looked at that and I said, well, that's kind of an interesting deal. That's triple.
Yeah. But I mean, I know, Chief Fitz deals with it too, but he has a little bit harder crowd than what we have.
So we should put him in charge of code compliance.
That's why you
I
can't
don't-
Put code compliance under the police department.
No, they got into their business. They get to play with the more fun stuff. We'll take
Yes, I was only asking if there's something we need to do.
Yeah, and
Don't be afraid
I
of it.
think that would probably be a good idea just to visit on it, just so everybody's on the same sheet of music.
And ultimately, that monkey probably is on our back because we're the one that's got to work between the public and the city. That's what our job is, and we'd be the one sitting there.
Well,
going,
and we don't want to put y'all in a situation either. We want to make sure everything's all together and in step when we go.
And that's a two-way street. We don't want to put y'all in a position. You got there, you keep doing this. You did it. Who cares?
Mhm.
That's a waste of time too.
Yes, sir.
I want you to throw your hands up and say it doesn't do any good because
Right.
we need to have some teeth in it if we're going to do it. That's all I've got.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
All right, Chief Pitts. We got that lead in.
I'm scared now. The PD had 222 calls for service in September. We had 37 reports, 508 business checks. We arrested 15 people with 22 cases being filed with the district attorney's office. 0 juveniles were dealt with in September. Traffic side of it, we wrote 114 traffic citations, 338 warnings for 452 contacts. On the animal control side of it, she issued 3 citations, 14 warnings. She had 74 calls for service, impounded 14. She got 3 adopted, 0 had been quarantined. Detective McDade worked a search warrant up and worked a case on a guy for some child pornography that went big enough that we're filing it federal now, so it's going to go federal, and it's a pretty substantial case off a search warrant we worked up. We had a standoff at the top line one night about 2 o'clock in the morning that I responded to, where we had to breach a door and go in and pull a guy out that kicked in the window, went inside, locked himself in the manager's office. So that was one of our more interesting calls. We hired an admin to replace our admin spot that's done a fantastic job. Also hired 2 officers. One of them is a 30-year officer that we just put on the street. In fact, he's out working today. And then we've got another one that is a 3-year military police officer that is challenging the test. So hopefully we'll have him out pretty soon. Austin Rose is filling our additional position. He's in the academy. He's scheduled to graduate in March, so we're excited to get back full staff. Everything's just kicking along.
Good. Any questions for Chief Pitts?
I don't want.
Don't worry, I got you. Don't worry.
I know what.
Well, since things
Mow
are
yards,
going well and you're gonna be full staff, you don't want to just take that on?
Only if you give me Tony.
I'll give you something.
Chief Williams?
Commissioners, good evening. September, we responded to 72 calls for service. That averaged us out at 2.32 calls a day for the month. 53 of those incidents occurred within the city, with 15 occurring outside. 4 of those incidents included response to our neighbors for mutual aid assistance. We installed 0 smoke detectors in September. And we responded to 12 incidents after 10 o'clock at night and before 7 in the morning. We responded to 3 structure fires, 3 grass fires, 1 vehicle fire, 38 calls to assist the medical crew on some type of a medical emergency, 11 motor vehicle accidents, 7 public assist, and 8 false alarm or investigative nature of call. And 1 hazardous material incident. We've gained 1 member in September, and that's it for the statistics. For the fiscal year, that puts us at 800 let's see, 877 calls, about 73, averaging 73 calls a month. That's a pretty good run volume for the fire department here. We're at 671 calls for 2023. So when we round the corner on the calendar in January, right now we're on track to break the 877 for the fiscal year. So our numbers just continue to creep up. I draw your attention to the incidents that occur after 10 and before 7. At 161, we nearly made 50% of the year. As in every other day, we're getting up in the middle of the night. 44% of the days of the year, we're getting up at some point after 10 o'clock and before 7. And those are also calls, remember, do alert the volunteers. So there's a lot of activity overnight with our volunteers and staff. That's all I have statistically to share. I would like to mention that we did have a very successful open house last weekend. We gave away about 150 hot dogs. That's kind of how we could run a little bit of a count. We ran out, so we had more to go, and we ran out. So we had a nice attendance, and out of that, we got 6 request forms for smoke detectors. So we're going to be able to boost that program, and it's that time of year when we will really start focusing on that and pushing that program as our temperatures begin to cool off. We got 2 applications for membership, so we're looking forward to that. Hopefully those come around. Fire prevention is fixing to go into full force. We've already been setting dates. We've got dates established with the schools, the pre-Ks. So our volunteers participate in that program also, and staff. And we do have a new member that we've added to our fire prevention program. You may have saw him at the parade or open house. It's Sparky. Sparky's joined our fire prevention program, and it's a great asset to reach the message to the kids. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sounds good. Anything else?
Move adjourned.
Motion from